This is our discussion of the 2000 film X-Men from Load Bearing Beams episode 25 from February 23rd, 2018.
Yes?
What's your experience with this movie?
Well, are you talking about X-Men?
Oh, indeed
a movie
I
from
am.
2000? Directed by Bryan Singer?
I think I am. Now that you
Stars Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Is that the one?
That motherfucker. Yes, that one.
Which one are you motherfuckering?
I just don't.
Your Hugh Jackman thing is. Why don't you explain what your
I
problem
don't
is
like
with
his
Hugh
name.
Jackman?
His name is made to confuse. It is made to hastily pronounce incorrectly because he could just as easily be Hugh Jackman, and it's bullshit.
He is Hugh Jackman.
See, he could be Jack Human. Is what I'm trying to tell
Right,
you.
nobody is named Jack Human.
I'll bet that they are.
Jackman is a name. It's a thing that people are. Human, with the Hugh is H-U-G-H.
I cannot
man.
wait for this to be true.
Human?
Jack Human.
I'm sure there's a Jack Human somewhere, but how many people do you know whose last name is Human?
Not enough, you know? I'll look into it. I'm just saying, his name makes me feel so wrong when I say it that I overcorrected back to being right.
Well, that's good.
And I appreciate
how do you feel about him as an actor?
I like him.
Okay.
He's got that, like, smoldery eye thing that's kind of like his one look, but I think I've seen him be goofy too.
No, his actual persona is, he's campy theater guy.
John Hamm.
He's musical.
That's how I picture him to be.
No, I mean, like, he literally is like a Broadway show tunes
Really?
guy, and that's what he actually wants to be doing.
Like a George Clooney.
And that's why he this movie, The Greatest Showman, that came out recently, that he shepherded, he plays P.T. Barnum, and it's an actual musical where they just sing songs.
That's amazing.
That's why he's always hosting the Tonys and stuff, but then he also plays Wolverine and all these gruff characters.
I know, because he's got a face for gruff, and that's unfortunate that I love that then. Mm-hmm. I now love Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, because he's...
See, did I say it right that time?
Yeah, you did.
It's... All right.
So, this movie is interesting because it was if there's a dividing point in superhero era or superhero movie eras, I'd say it ends the original, the 90s era ends with Batman and Robin, 97. And people are like, superhero movies fucking suck. They're stupid.
Yeah, it's awful.
X-Men comes 3 years later in 2000.
It's got the air of not quite knowing what it's got.
It's a tweener.
Yeah, it's got
now,
I don't know.
The studio didn't have a ton of confidence in it. They slashed its budget. While watching it this time, I thought, it's kind of a slight movie. There's not that much going on.
Right.
No, there's a lot going on. There's not much action in this movie. There's not much.
Yes. And
there aren't many set pieces.
And I appreciate that.
Oh,
I get lost with that action. It's like maybe the key is to cut all the budgets of the action movies because the story's interesting.
Yeah. And
I love the politics of it.
The Marvel sold the movie rights to X-Men to Fox. And Fox made this movie. They slashed its budget. They moved its production schedule up. They released it. It made pretty good money. It wasn't like a sensation or anything, but people who watched people saw it, really enjoyed it and thought like, okay, superhero movies, they don't all have to be stupid like Batman and Robin. 2 years later, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man comes out and kind of leads to the era we're in now with, Black Panther and the Avengers and everything else.
Right. Even though the Spider-Man series does go a strange direction. But that would end up being... Did we watch 3 and end up thinking, God, that was weird but good?
Yeah, Spider-Man 3. Right? Spider-Man 3, our controversial... The load-bearing beam's position on Spider-Man 3 is that it's better than Spider-Man 1.
Oh, we are controversial.
Yeah, and Spider-Man 2 is the greatest movie ever made.
Question mark?
Maybe. I'm like Donald Trump. Greatest movie ever made? Investigate?
Yeah.
I saw this movie in theaters. I was in the 6th grade, maybe the 5th grade, and my mom dropped me off at the Palace movie theater. Mm-hmm. Now, the Palace was like 2 towns over from where I grew up.
2 towns into a strange.
And the Palace was a palace. I had a small movie theater in my town, but this place was a magical
arcade
wonderland. I mean, there was a giant bronze lion as you walked in. Yeah. You're like, oh my God. There's like 40 screens. Now, I mean, now every movie theater looks like this, but every theater, every screen has
Every
stadium
chair
seating.
has a seat
Every chair has a cup holder. That was a big deal.
with a bottom. Your drink doesn't just go straight through it and onto the floor.
And so my mom would sometimes, because she worked in New Orleans, would drop me and my brother off at this movie theater, and we'd see two movies. And we saw this movie, and we saw the movie Loser. Andy Heckerling's Loser,
Yeah, okay.
as a double feature.
Oh, I know.
And I was delighted. I watched it a million times on DVD. I was a big fan of this and the X-Men and X-Men 2. It had probably been, though, like 15 years since I'd last seen it. I was curious to see how it holds up in light of the superhero movies that we watched today.
My recollection is that Halle Berry was supposed to be a way bigger deal, or at least I remember the advertising. Maybe because Storm's hair is just so iconic.
Well, here's what I
It's
wanted.
just like she's.
I meant to look this up.
boring.
When did Halle Berry become a thing?
I didn't know if it was Monsters Ball.
But was it before she won the Oscar for Monsters Ball in
but it was
2001?
yeah, I mean, but she'd always been like
Before
this,
then,
this
what-
thing that was just this, like, you needed to lust over because she's just so perfectly put together. She's beautiful.
But, you know-
I want to say it's when she was a Bond girl.
No, that was 2002. So like this but I think this movie happened, or it must have been made just before Halle Berry movie star happened, because
Are
she's
you
not
sure?
positioned in the movie as a star. She doesn't have much screen
have
time.
anything
She's
to
not
do.
really. Well, the DVD cover has Wolverine front and center, and then
That's what I'm
Storm is
saying.
right next
and
to him.
again, I think it's an art thing because of her hair. It blows really cool.
I think
it looks interesting.
no, something similar happened with X-Men First Class, which was they kind of rebooted the series and started making young X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
and Mystique, who in this movie is played by Rebecca Romijn Stamos, in 2011 was played by Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence wasn't Jennifer Lawrence yet, though.
Right.
And after Hunger Games came out, she became a superstar, but she was still under contract for these X-Men movies. She was never in much of the actual movies, but she was always really prominent in the trailer and on all the posters and everything.
Right.
So I think it's that. I think it's like we have her in a movie. She became more famous before the movie came out, so we're going to feature her really prominently in the marketing.
That makes Well, and that's I mean, she just seemed like she was hyped and then didn't deliver, and so that did kind of.
She's not very good in this movie.
No, there's
anyway,
not.
she's
It's
got
very boring.
So this movie again, it's very. I mean, the screenplay is great because you've got a bunch of shit you need to introduce, but you introduce it really well. You have a handful of characters who are very, very well defined. It's an ensemble, but you're able to follow. Everything just moves really well, and you come in and you meet Magneto and Xavier, played by Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
A simpler time when it was okay that an entire two movements of two different kinds of these extraordinary humans on the planet it's okay to be led by old white men.
And their relationship is supposed to be modeled after Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. The positions that they take, one for violence, one nonviolence,
Yeah.
one
They
we need
missed
to be
the mark
militant
in a
against.
couple of ways, but yeah.
Go ahead. Why?
Old white men. Again, saying.
But just taken on their own terms.
Yeah, no, I like it.
They're very good.
Yeah, and they like each other. Or at
If
least
they don't like each other, they at least have what I love, which is when
Respect,
enemies,
yeah.
kind of like still talk to each other and like play chess as gentlemen.
I did.
I
love
like
that.
Thor and Loki. I just like when enemies have to work together or don't necessarily want the other person dead. They're just working against each other.
Well, and it's a super realistic approach because if I had to name someone I really, really don't like, I have that name right on the tip of my tongue, but I can still enjoy that person and do every now and then. So I'm just saying I think that's why it's appealing.
Eddie Redmayne?
Shut up. I just think that's why it's appealing because it's like, no, that is kind of how true.
Should you say the name and we'll put some like sound effects on it and then people will try to figure out who you're talking about?
Shut up. Just go. Oh, what the fuck? What's wrong with you?
We meet Rogue and Anna, played by Anna Paquin, and I think Anna Paquin. I noticed recently I've been using the phrase lab grown a lot, but she's lab grown to make you hate her. Would you say that's accurate?
Is that the stupid girl from, that's a weird way to start that. Is that the dumb bit? No. Is that...
True Blood?
Yep. Is that her?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I set out to hate her in this movie. Don't hate her.
Now,
she was
do you
fine.
hate her-
It's because she doesn't ever not have. Is that her real voice? Why does she find a way to
think
use
so.
it? In well,
I mean,
then
I think
just do
she's from
something different.
Louisiana or Mississippi or something.
Oh, sick.
People from Louisiana sound normal like us.
Yeah, that's what bugs me. It's just it feels like she's trying to imply a backstory where no one's offered to give her one. I mean, there's usually an accent for a reason. If they're not going to ever talk about it, it's because she's from the South. Then stop it. I want y'all to know something about me.
I understand what you're saying, but the alternative is like, let's just default to this kind of mid-Atlantic accent.
Which is fine. It's distracting. I keep thinking it needs to mean something. And I it's a bias. I know. It's because I do not appreciate it when my own voice has a twang, or if I accidentally say y'all, and if she's just flaunting it like it's no big deal, pisses me off.
When she touches someone, she absorbs their powers if they're mutants, and if they're not mutants, they go into anaphylactic shock or something. So she runs away to Canada, and
no, she absorbs their energy. So either you have energy to spare or you don't.
Mm-hmm. That's basically what I said. And she meets the Wolverine, and he gets his claws to come out so he can fight some toughs who want to beat him up because...
Got it.
Yeah. And she has this great moment that made you... I know you appreciated this movie because you made this noise. Huh. She says to him about his claws, "When they come out, does it hurt?" And he said, "Every time." Like, oh, see, this is a good movie. And then they have a car crash and get rescued by the X-Men because Sabretooth, who's really dumb.
Oh, God, this is what bothers me. I just wish they could spend a little bit more time developing, or at least making any kind of character you can like on the bad guy side. Because they truly do look like they're rejected leftover. I mean, the guy's power is he's green and he has a lizard tongue. That is absurd. And then the caveman guy, who's this?
Sabretooth.
That's so stupid. Like, just be like a nice guy who's got different political views. Why do you have to be completely annoying to look at?
Because these are comic books.
Okay, but the characters on the other side of the coin who just have different political views and ways of going about it.
Yeah, but maybe that's why they ended up on the good side, and the more funky looking ones went more extreme, more radical, because their isolation was even more.
All right, fine.
Well, wait, you don't like Magneto?
Yeah, that was the good idea.
All right.
I do feel like the person who wrote the comic book series put all of his creativity and interesting ideas into the side you're supposed to root for, and then gave all the stupid shit that your little brother might draw while he's sitting next to you while you're drawing the good stuff on the other side. And Mystique is cheating. That is a stupid character that is fast forwarding and a whole lot of lazy writing for anything you want there to be a fix for.
Well, I think that comic book fans are very...
are they going to bomb us?
Well-meaning, very understanding, very chill, so I think they'll be totally okay with everything you just said. They'll just be like,
so scared
oh, interesting.
Right now.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. When Mystique turns into Wolverine... I did suddenly think like, oh, well, she's the most powerful of all because she can just do whatever, but he like knocks off her claws because they're not real claws. She can just make it look like she has claws. Oh. But when she's fighting the actual Wolverine, he just slices through her stupid fake claws.
I didn't take it like that.
You didn't take it like that. That's the only way to take it.
Thank you. He sliced through her claws. He didn't flick them with his finger.
That's the same thing.
If
they were actual claws, they'd clang against each other.
Sharpened claws.
No, they'd be like swords clanging against each other. If you take the sharpest sword in the world and hit another sword with it, it's not going to slice through it.
Anyway, she is cheating. If you can make yourself look like anyone, then you always have a way out or into anything.
And if you did have that power,
it is lazy story writing.
As with like Harry Potter and the Time Turner, it's like if you had this power, all these schemes you have are like bad ideas compared to what you could be doing.
Exactly. Yes. The actual reason she uses it for, I feel like I could think of 5 that would just make the movie go away right now.
The most powerful one in the world is the guy who can manipulate metal and create magnets. Like, that doesn't seem that impressive.
Ha! Where are my paper clips? Magneto!
Yeah. I like that Magneto doesn't wear his helmet for most of the movie. He's just a guy. He's just an old British guy.
I don't know how I'm supposed. I don't. I guess that's not a thing that I can appreciate because I've only ever seen him do it like this.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, I was vaguely aware of him from like the TV show, from the X-Men cartoon show. So he just looks very serious.
Oh yeah, the helmet makes him look like such a goof.
He does look like a goof with a stupid helmet that can block out Xavier's prying thought detection.
That was what the helmet.
There are
was
some really good little.
I thought it was because he was a magnet and it was stuck to his head.
Some really good little one-liners. We both liked when they go into Cerebro, which is Professor X's thing where he can magnify his thought powers, and Wolverine says, "Well, this is certainly one big round room."
No,
that was funny.
It's really good to relay the joke too, because I was good the second time.
Because it's a very ornate, impressive room, and he's just like, that's why it's funny. See,
right?
But all in all, pretty small movie. I mean, you get to spend a little time with Cyclops and Jean Grey and Storm, but these are kind of just your main people. And one thing happens. Magneto tries a plan to turn everyone into mutants, and it doesn't work, and that's the end of the movie.
They all fall in love and find best friends.
Have you seen any other X-Men movies? No? Would you be interested?
Don't plan
okay.
on it. Are you saying they get better?
Oh, this is the best one.
Then no.
I mean, I remember X-Men 2 being really good as well, but
you have a really bad track record with number 2s.
I think I have a really good track record.
No, you have a really bad track record of remembering the 2s to be the best and then find that it's not when you watch them all in a row.
When have I been wrong about this?
Austin Powers.
But I suspected. I didn't think that would still be true.
But we also just talked about another one. Why can't I think of it right now?
What, Spider-Man 2?
No. What did we do last week?
Who the fuck can remember? We did Jumanji last week. The week before that, we did. I
don't know. You were wrong twice.
I don't think so.
Yes, you were.
What did we do the week before?
Oh, this is not interesting.
It kind of is, though.
It's like telling someone what you dreamt about or what you're going to eat for dinner.
Now I want to do both of those things. Would you believe what I dreamt last night? Okay.
I dreamt I was eating dinner.
Jurassic
Park 2.
Jurassic Park 3. It was not, and that was not last week, but yes, I did stand for Jurassic Park 3, and it sucks.
All right. Fine.
So this movie is a little gem out of time.
We both picked something we like.
That hardly ever happens, so go us.
I can't remember the last time.
I enjoy it more when we like a movie, actually. When we started this podcast, I thought, well, this would be a good way to really rag on Lacey's tastes, but I generally don't do that, because I just don't mind when things are bad as much as I thought I did.
Right.
And it's more fun to talk about things we like.
There you go. We're learning.
Watch Ever After. It's really good.
And watch X-Men.
Also, watch Ella Enchanted with Anne Hathaway. It's a nice little movie.
All right.
Comrades, brothers and sisters in arms. I want to
lend us your liking fingers.
Tell you a little something.
Subscribe.
In the next few weeks, I'm going to be releasing some short fiction, culminating in a Kindle single that I will charge $1 for.
It's worth it. It's really good, really funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So please go to my website, mattstokes.net, and check out all that, if you dare.
Whoa.
And also, subscribe to this show on iTunes.
Go to our Facebook page. Go to our Twitter account. Make sure they haven't been hacked. Email us and let us know. No, that's not what we want. We want you to like our page and follow our shit and hit subscribe and do all the things that make podcasts make money one day. You selfish listeners.
What else do podcasts
Okay, I love you.
Bye! Let's see. They'll say subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a review. 5 stars, please. They talk about audible.com. Talk about stamps.com.
What?
Mattresses. I'm just trying to. We need to. If you want to be like the big boys, you gotta be like. Wait. What's the? Goodbye.
3, 4. Everybody, LeBaron Keems, LeBaron